Hello and welcome back to another episode of B9 Productions. Today we have Linda Chrisman. She is a nurse, a self-published author, a grandmother, a daughter, and a mother, and all these things have put her in what she calls the sandwich generation and the sandwich effect. Linda, could you introduce that to us?
Hi, yes. I really didn't know that's what I was going through till one day I was just scrolling and found something online talking about sandwich generation. I thought initially it was going to be a commentary on things like soccer moms, throwing together sandwiches, going to the games, all that kind of thing. But what it turned out to be actually was a discussion about being sandwiched in the middle of one part of your life and then another part of your life. In my case, I started out still raising children, and I am still raising my youngest daughter, and suddenly it became necessary to be my mother's caregiver after her stroke. So there are a lot of things that go into caregiving for a loved one while you're still trying to raise children. And that's what the sandwich generation is. You are
Sandwiched in between the ones coming up and the ones needing care at the end of life.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
So I'd like to share with you how my mom has been sandwiched. Well, when I was little and she was raising me, and I mean like infant, my grandmother had dementia, and my dad's mom, and my mom looked after her and took care of her. And now my sister has two young boys that are 4 and 3 years old, and she looks after my dad that has dementia. So it applies to it, like we keep saying generations like Gen Z, Y, and X, but whatever. But it applies to the whole. It's mostly women because of the home caregiver, and then it's because the dynamic of caring for somebody that needs help, and because you can send them off to a home, but not everybody does.
Right.
Like my dad will pass away at home, and that's what we've chosen to do.
Well, in reality, only, what was it, statistically, I think it's only like 2% of the elderly population is actually in nursing homes.
Oh.
It seems like so much more though, because there's a home and it's completely populated and overfill, no room for others to get in on a long waiting list. But in reality, there are a lot of the elder generation still living at home or living at home under the care of younger family members.
In Hispanic culture, that's the way it should be.
Mm-hmm.
They brought you up, you should see them out. And at the best of care, like in Mexico, my grandfather, he lived 101.
Oh, yeah.
And they cared for him, they bathed him, they did everything for him.
And that's, I think typically that's the way it was thought to be. And in my opinion, it should be. That's what I'm hoping my children will do. And they've assured me they will when they're not teasing me and telling me they've already picked out the home they're going to put me in. But it's the multi-generational, we've gotten away from that in American society. But it's really beautiful. And
Anthropology, it's the communal of like the tribe. They become elders and are wiser, and then when they can't apply their knowledge anymore, then they need to be taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
But they still have that status of being an elder.
Yeah.
Like my dad has dementia and everything, but he plays with my nephews all day long.
Yeah.
And they love him, they know him, they have that experience with him, and they don't know he's sick.
Well, and all they know is that he is completely zeroed in and focused on them, not distracted by the daily cares and worries. And he's their friend. He's their.
In all honesty, my sister and mom are just looking after 3 kids. My 2 nephews and my dad.
Yeah.
Because dementia does that to you. If you've ever seen the movie Benjamin Button, that he's born old and then dies an infant. I think that was a metaphor for dementia.
Yeah.
Because you really do revert back to
that just gives me chills because of something that I said to my mom when I was a little girl. One day I said, "Mommy, when I grow up, I get big and you get small, take care of you." And we laughed at the time. I was somewhere between 3 and 5 years old, and she just laughed as, "Oh, honey, that's not the way it happens," but it did.
And it should. And no parent should see their child die, and if that thankfully happens, then your child should see you die, and in the most graceful way possible,
right?
With care and in love, in a loving home.
Yeah, we shouldn't compartmentalize death as something terrible and fearful and awful. It is a part of life. It is as much a part of life as birth, and it's going to happen to all of us at some point in time.
There's a saying in Spanish that says that death isn't racist. She goes for everybody equally.
Yeah, I like that. That's cool.
Tell us about your books. You're a self-published author. Tell us about your granddaughters. I've done a video for you before. I can draw out a lot. Tell us about your granddaughters, your grandma, your book.
Okay.
Tell us about that stuff. You as an author and what inspired that, rather.
Okay. Well, I've always loved books. I've always buried myself in books. I know in my junior high years, we lived in a house where there was a great big spreading elm tree, and one of the branches was a great big crook that I would lay back in and read until it was too dark to see. My mom would call me in for supper. Okay, I'm finishing the chapter, and I'd finally come in because I couldn't see anymore. So books are wonderful to me, and I've always played at writing poetry and making up stories. So when I was little, both grandmothers would come at different times and stay with us for a month or 3 months at a time, and my Nana would get the task of trying to comb my hair out, and it was very fine and very tangly, and I would scrunch and squirm and try to get away, and so she would use means of distraction like, "Oh, there's a alligator, look at that mean thing," and instead of me welling up in tears to accuse her of purposefully hurting me, she would distract me, and I did that for my daughters and my granddaughters. And one day I just thought, this needs to be a story. And so I started playing around with it, and eventually came up with the title, "There's a Hedgehog in My Hair," and started seeking out illustrators and couldn't find anything I really liked. Tried AI, and
it turned out really good. You have watercolors.
Yeah.
Let's insert some images from here. This is one of her books. Take a look. Now we're back.
It was fun. I had some college art classes, but what I produced here was fun. I always drew and painted and illustrated from early childhood. My mom would get us art books, and she would always scold us if she caught us tracing, so we had to be able to look and draw without tracing, and that was what we did instead of playing on social media and TV.
I'm right there to where the other day I read an article that said that from like 86 to 94 is the perfect era to be born, from analog to digital.
Oh,
because we still had cassettes, CDs, like VHS, DVD, like you know how it's went from one to the other, and we got to see it all to where, like, we grew up with the internet. Literally, like in '96, I was a little kid, and then by the time I was in high school, the internet was in it was the bubble.
Yeah, I graduated high school and we still had typewriters. Our business class was all full of typewriters, and coming back on one of my class reunions, taking a tour of our high school, all of a sudden the typewriters were gone, and there were these great big boxes, the old DOS computers, and it's like, wow, yeah.
I remember in my elementary school we had the first Apple computer, the one that it looked like a TV and then the backside had different colors.
Yeah.
It was it was one of those, and I remember our library had a row of blue ones and then a row of orange ones.
So funny. Oh my goodness. Wow. So modern, super cool.
Like I said, I grew up typing. When I was in high school, I took typing classes. When I worked for Dish Network, my supervisor saw me typing up a report. He's like, "You can type?" I'm like, "Dude, how do you not?"
Yeah.
It's not just for secretaries anymore.
Oh.
Everybody types.
Yeah, we had to, that QWERTY keyboard. Yeah, over and over and over. I would get almost nauseous because it was a race. You had to go fast.
How do your fingers feel? Because I've seen my mom do it. The pads of your fingers hurt. Because they are.
Oh,
my mom, one of those strike typewriters is what we're talking about, right?
Yeah, my mom. Well, I had electric typewriters, but my mother had this old, big, bulky standard typewriter. She kept glamour length fingernails. I mean, this is my mother in the background in that picture. She was so glamorous. Glamour length fingernails, typing away at that old keyboard, that old standard typewriter, like 60 or 80 words, mistake-free a minute.
Wow. And we're talking about the one with the swing arms, right? Like the piano.
Yeah.
That's the one my mom had.
Not me. I think maybe 15 words a minute with an electric.
What's the electric one like? Is it so portable?
It was. I mean, it was like a...
It's almost like a printer, but every time you hit a key, it prints it?
No. You still roll in the paper. And
but it's just not a mechanism, like when you hit it, a key doesn't swing and slap?
Oh yeah, you heat it and you type and the key goes up, but it's a lot softer. It's more like a computer keyboard now.
Okay. Because my mom's, you had to hate the thing.
Yeah.
Like you really had to go at it for growing up, I would see my mom she'd do handwritten letters. And then she'd roll up that thing and then start typing on it.
Yeah, or put the papers with a mimeograph sheet, a carbon sheet.
And so you'd have 2 copies.
Yeah.
You get the first one made by the thing, and then the carbon copy is being made by the second one.
And then that ink from the carbon is there, and you can run it through the copier. Oh gosh, how did that work? Because then it would be backwards. I don't remember. It was something to that. It was just weird. It was just yeah.
I always had a Xerox in my life.
We had, let's just not go there. That's a while back.
So let's get back to the subject. Sandwich generation. Can you tell us more about that? You told us about your books.
I had a second, one other book that I put out. The first one came about from my childhood. The second book came about as a grandma, playing with the kids, all the grandkids in my backyard, and that's
Let's take a moment here and show some illustrations of that one, because I have a few of those. So let's take a look at those 4 images, and now we're back. Okay,
well, let's see. We were talking a bit about the sandwich generation. Where it started. At the time, I got the phone call from my sister that our mom had a stroke.
Where was your mom living? Was she near you?
She was about 2 hours from me. She was in her own home. It was about 10 years after our dad had died. And she was still very independent. I mean, getting out driving. She was in her early 80s and about 84 at the time. And 83, 84. She was on the phone one evening with my sister. Diane would call her every night and just chit-chat with her to see how she was doing. And during the midst of their conversation, my mom's vocabulary just turned into garbled word salad.
Good thing she was on the call with her.
Exactly. I think that saved her from having much more lingering.
Because it's time sensitive.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I believe strokes have a time limit on them for the amount of time that it can be effective.
Ideally, within 2 hours of the onset, you want to have them in the hospital and get them treatment.
Did your mom get full recovery, or did she get limited?
She did not have the typical left-sided stroke that leaves a person paralyzed on their left side. Hers was mostly on the right side, occipital lobe. It affected her outgoing speech. She could understand what we were saying, could comprehend, and she wanted to converse with us. The words just would not flow. Every now and then, if she was very well rested and we asked her a question, an old phrase would just tumble out, like, how are you feeling today? Oh, I feel pretty good. And other times you'd ask her a question and it would just be halting well, and nothing more would come out. Now, you knew that she understood and she wanted to speak, but the synapses just wouldn't.
My father-in-law's like that. He's been in the hospital, actually. We were in class and I showed up early on Zoom. And I told Janie, I'm like, I need to take him up to Medford because we think he had a stroke and they won't see him here in town, so we have to take him up there. They did see him in town, there just wasn't a neurologist. And he needed one, so I took him to where there was one. But Bobby had a stroke in 17 or 18, and he doesn't walk very well. He's my size and has to have help.
That's rough. Yeah, my mom was affected on her right side, and when she was more tired or certain conditions, she would sort of crumple more to her right. And after having a couple of really bright, interactive, good days, it would be followed by several really inactive, exhausted, sleep more, interact less days where her brain was just needed to recuperate. But I was hopeful when that started happening. I was hopeful that it meant more and more synapses were forming, new synapses were forming, and she would regain more and more of her abilities. But she was also 94 at the time of her death. So
she made it another 10 years after her stroke.
So
did you care for her the whole time?
Initially, our oldest son went and stayed with her for the better part of a year. Then the older of our two brothers, my two brothers, cared for her in his home, and then we did some renovations with ours and moved her in with us. So it was kind of came about. It was about 9 and a quarter years, maybe longer. Gosh, it's been longer now because. Where
did she have her stroke, if you don't mind me asking? Because you moved to California recently, right?
Right. She was living in Wichita, which was 2 hours from where we were living in Sedan, Kansas, southeast Kansas.
Gotcha.
And she was taken to St. Francis stroke care on the west side of Wichita, and then did some rehab later, but got to a point where she was able to go home, but she couldn't be at home alone, so our son stayed with her for a while. Then my brother and his wife and family cared for her, and then we did. My other two siblings, their homes were just not set up and their careers were not set up to where they could take her in, but they were all four of us were very much in agreement with the type of care she needed, and it was hard. I really thought that with the four of us we would go equally divided times around the course of the year, but it just wasn't going to happen that way. So we did get the emotional, verbal kudos, and everybody kind of flew in and helped where they could, and interactions and visits. So I think in that aspect that may be unique, unfortunately, in that we were very loving and everybody was in sync with what we wanted for her.
That's good that everybody came together for her and that you guys were able to supply that care.
Yeah, and my husband was
that
amazing.
That in your nurse too, where you didn't have to hire anybody.
Yeah.
Like when you needed that help, you knew
But that kind of is difficult because I was her daughter first, and I was her nurse, but to be a nurse, a really good nurse for my patients, I'm just naturally a sympathetic, compassionate person, but I have to put my emotions aside to be
objective.
Right, and it's just, it was difficult in that manner. I think actually my husband, who was a coach and teacher, was a better caregiver than I was with her, because he, I don't know, he was, well, towards the last few years, he was retired and could really devote himself to taking care of her, and that's where we really needed the most care and help. But initially it was taking her to ball games with us and kids events with us, which the kids enjoyed tremendously, having their grandma.
How old were so one son was old enough to go live with grandma. Mm-hmm. How old were the rest when she came to live with you guys? Like, did she see them like their final teen years?
Oh, well, one was already married with her first her first greats were already born. The son had been through college and a year into the workforce, and the next son was, about 10 years out of, maybe 5 or 7 years out of high school, and another daughter was already out of school, bringing more great-grandchildren into the world. That left another son in the early adult years, living independently, and the two youngest. Our oldest kids there's a group of 5 that are within 2 and 3 years of each other. Then comes 5-year break, or 6-year break, and another 6-year break. So it was the youngest 2 that were still at home.
Okay, so you were definitely sandwiched there.
Yeah.
And then you had your grandchildren as well, because
they would come and go,
I was just trying to relate it back to who was around. And how well you were sandwiched.
It took me a minute to calculate all this. When did all this happen? Because
last time we were here, you gave us all the weights of everybody in order, like the birth weight.
Did I? Oh my God.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
So one of the gals that was here asked you, and you started rattling off everybody's birth weight.
Well, childbirth is both a traumatic and a beautiful thing, and I did most of it as much as possible natural, so I was very present. Yeah, they were some big babies. Yeah.
I don't even know how heavy a baby should be. I only have a son.
Yeah, 7, 6 is a good.
Because my brother was 10 pounds.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah, I had one son was 8'12", and yeah, that's big for somebody who's 5 foot tall. So, yeah, 10 pounds. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I've heard of babies being 10 pounds and bigger, and it's like, no, that's not really possible, is it?
They already look like they're a toddler.
Yeah, I came out smoking a cigar.
So let's recap, and then we'll talk some more.
Okay.
We've talked about what the generation of the being sandwich means. We talked about your books, your inspiration, your family. We've spoken about caring for your elders. And we also spoke about caring for the next generation. So where can we go next?
Well, right now we are in an adjustment phase. My mother, I took her back to Kansas this past holiday season, November, right before Thanksgiving. And she was able then, during that time, to spend Thanksgiving and Christmas in Kansas near my other siblings. And during that time, she got to see all of us at one point or another, her kids, her grandkids, and all of her great-grandchildren that had been born at that time. And the morning that she stayed in a little care home for a space and time while one of my brothers had decided, no, we're going to bring her into our home again. He was working on getting things all arranged. 3 days after Christmas, the morning they were all en route to get over and pick her up, she passed away. So I was frustrated at the time because I thought, gosh, I've been with her all this time, and I've sat bedside with numerous hospice patients to say goodbye as they exited this world. Why could I not have been with my mother during this time? But I really don't think that she would have left yet, and she might have had more days of struggle and illness or pain or whatever had she lingered. Many of my hospice patients, there was no scientific, logical reason that they were still breathing, that they were still alive, other than something in their own heart. Yeah, and a family member would arrive, or the family that had all been gathered around bedside would break for lunch, and that's when the patient would pass. And I always told all my patients, they don't want to say goodbye when they're in your midst. They don't want to leave when everyone that they love is gathered around. So they wait for that moment until God calls their soul home. So.
That happened with my grandfather too. He had fallen and broken his pelvis, but he was 89 and they couldn't do surgery on him.
Yeah.
So we all just came together, and I remember he wasn't conscious, and my uncle, he was like, hey, you always, for lack of a better word, shoot the shit with him. Go shoot the shit with your grandpa. So I go over to his bedside, and I pretend we're back in Mexico, and we're sitting on our favorite bench, and I'm like, hey, Grandpa, here comes a group of girls. But he never objectified women and said anything. He would always just say, let's go check out the toys. He's like, let's go check out the juguetitos, like the little toys. He didn't have toys. Like, he never had toys. To where when he first said that to me as a little boy, and not being like double innuendo I didn't pick up on until I was older, he just said, hey, let's go check out the little toys. And I'm like, okay, we're going to at the plaza. They closed down the plaza and vendors set up. And I'm like, he wants to buy me a toy. Well, we walked down to the plaza, but we sat down and just watched.
Because he wanted to watch the girls pass by. Oh, that's funny.
But he came back to it. Everybody chit-chatted with him, like you said. Everybody was around him. Everybody took turns, spoke to him. And then that night at 3, 4 in the morning, he took his last breath.
Yeah.
The nurse came in and she said he's fine. My mom went to bed. She woke up when the nurse came in. She went to bed, and then the next time the nurse came in, he was gone. So he passed away peacefully in his bed. But my grandfather was simple. He was super innocent. He was half native and from Jalisco, and his dad was a herbalist.
Oh, okay.
They got the last name Franco from a Frenchman.
Okay.
He was a botanist. So the botanist wanted to know plants, and the plant guy was my grandfather's dad.
Mm-hmm.
And they worked together and created a book or whatever they did to chart the medicinal plant Herbalife
That's
of
really
Jalisco. Yeah. When I went to Humboldt, I told them that, and they're like, "That's the history of Humboldt." I'm like, "There's more like that. Like there's learned men everywhere."
Yeah.
And I told them who that guy was, and I'm like, he was native and he got the last name Franco. How does a native end up with the name French?
Yeah.
Because that's what Franco means. It
Yeah.
means French.
That's funny. Okay.
So people, I met Europeans once, and I probably told them my last name was Franco, and they're like, Franco's a bad guy. I'm like, who are you talking about? They're like, the general. I'm like, Mexico has never had a general by the name of Franco. I guess Spain did, and he was a dictator.
Oh, wow. How funny. Okay.
I did not.
No relation.
No relation. We've been here for 500 years.
Oh, wow. That's cool. That's funny. I love hearing family stories and history and
You gotta. I grew up with we would visit my grandparents one time a year because they lived in Mexico. So right after my sister's birthday, December 3rd, either that week or a week after, we would head to Mexico, and then we would come back a week before my birthday, which is January 22nd. So we were gone for like a month and a half, and we would drive down there, hang out with them for a month, and then drive back.
Yeah.
And my mom always snuck away from them. She never told them we were leaving. Just like when she left the original time, she didn't tell her mom she was leaving.
Really?
She just left and then wrote her a letter, and her mom was just wondering where her daughter went.
Oh, just
The
so that she
heartbreak.
didn't have to have that emotional goodbye.
Yeah, well, my grandfather cried every single time we left because he thought he wouldn't see his children again.
Yeah.
And they would just tell him we'd be back tomorrow, and tomorrow came a whole year later.
Yeah. Oh, that's.
It was really sad.
Yeah.
You know how the U.S. there's families like military families that the children go off to war,
Yeah.
and it's like a distance thing.
Yeah.
That's the same thing in Mexico, but it's for the American dream, for finances.
Right.
The sacrifice is there, and it's not like going to the military, but it is to support or provide for your family, and it is.
It's still a distance and an absence
And a discipline.
Yeah.
Like for any little thing, you can get deported.
Yeah.
So you have to behave and be diligent and a hard worker,
Yeah.
and just.
It's very sad that the thought here is illegal immigrants are here to destroy us. Well, maybe illegals are, but I don't know. I don't know
There's
the
some-
process. I haven't lived the process.
I'll
so
say
I-
this: there's some people that even their own countries don't want them,
Yeah.
and they do end up here. But there are some outstanding citizens with education that end up here illegally, but are some of the top society people in their home country.
Yeah.
They come here with visas, overstay them, and that's how they become illegal.
So
They don't
initially,
even have to cross the border. They fly in,
their initial entrance is
It's
legal.
legal, yeah.
They just
overstay.
love it here, so they stay.
That's most of the
Yeah.
immigration problem right now. The
That's-
border, minuscule. The airport's running all day long, every single day.
Mhm.
And there's visas coming in every single day.
And it's, yeah.
It's hard, isn't it?
It is. It's
You
very
didn't see
hard.
that one coming,
No,
did
I
you?
didn't. No, but
But a lot of
it's-
overstayed visas.
Yeah.
We should look it up, see how many overstayed visas there are.
Yeah.
Because They know when they expire.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to know the difference, and it just, my heart cringes and cries out when I hear the ICE raids and hear the children affected by it and separated by parents, because in my personal life, it's all about my children and my grandchildren, and in my professional life, it is not about judging who, what, where my patients are about. I don't care what you're about. I put that aside. I have to care for you as a patient, because
as
that's
a human being
yeah,
that deserves care.
And when I come upon have before me a particularly repugnant person or behaving person, I set that aside and just focus on the fact that this life started as a frail and fragile child. Somebody's baby, whether loved and embraced or unfortunately just brought into the world and disposed of. Whoever it is before me started out as that fragile little being, and their life deserves care. You know, none of us deserve much in adulthood. We're just, but all of us do. There shouldn't be a hierarchy. It's just a life is a life, and we should respect life.
Well, I agree. I so much to say there. We got off topic.
We did. It's a topic
but
it's
relevant. It's relevant though, because like you said, we are all human beings, and we all deserve care. And look at Mexico; it's a third world country, and now you can have free medical care for everybody. So, universal health care is coming to Oregon. What about the rest of the states?
Yeah, I've heard so many. Well, with my patients, I don't judge. I don't care whether they're rich or poor, or whether they're there because they are detoxing from some abuse or misuse of a substance. They are a life that I care for, and everybody deserves to be cared for and placed back on a level playing field where they can,
Anthropology says that's the origin of civilization.
Yeah.
When there is a clear history of caring for somebody else, because you had to hunt for them, you had to shelter them, and then you had to heal them until they were ready to partake in all those activities.
Yeah, when there's evidence of a bone that was broken and reset and healed.
That's where civilization started, they said.
Yeah. It was Jimmy Carter's wife, I think, who made the statement that I love this. Everyone has either been a caregiver, is being cared for, or has been cared for, is being cared for, or will be cared for. There was one other point. And there are 4 types of people. One who has been cared for, is being cared for, will need caring in the future, or will provide the care, something like that. There is. So that's why I named my one of my Facebook pages. I have my family page that I post things about my family and school events and such, and friends. I keep touch with them. But then there's It's a Caring Thing. I started that to post things about caregiving.
That's on Facebook. It's a caring thing.
It's called It's a Caring Thing. It is one of my Facebook pages, and I have posted photos, pictures of my mom, myself, family, and moments, just little blips about a moment in our day, a rainy day, reading, coffee, just moments together.
Some uplift.
Yeah, and I think now that my dealing with being sandwiched in between the care of my children and the care of my mother has come to an end. I still have much to say on that subject, and I still have much that I want to be able to provide resources to others who are in that situation. So if they're feeling overwhelmed or wondering what to do, where to reach out.
Or just to hear a relating story.
Yeah.
Because that's all we're doing online anyways.
Yeah.
Trying to find comfort in what we believe in.
Right. Yeah. Everybody needs to know that they are not alone, and sometimes just to have a little laugh for the day. And
because it is heavy.
It is. It
like my dad's been really sick for 2 years, and I am thankful for every single day I have with him. But you're there, but it's almost impossible to live in the moment because the moment is so fleeting that it could be the last one.
Yeah, even when Mother was here, there were those moments I was so grateful that she was here, but there were moments too where I was so exhausted, get home from a day of work, immediately jump into caregiving for an adult-sized infant in some ways, which was harsh because mentally she did not have dementia. She knew what was going on. Physically, though, her care had become like caring for an infant. And that was so difficult. And difficult for her. I know it had to be excruciating for her. So I still tried to talk to her and be present for her. But I know she could see in me the weariness, the exhaustion, the frustration. And that was a harsh reality. So if I can provide some sympathy to others going through that, but some uplift and a little laughter and joy too, I think we all need that.
I'd like to share something my dad has always said, and he said it to the point where we'd mock him, but he says that the beauty is what is to be savored, and he's talking about the beauty of, in Spanish, es lo bonito, es lo sabroso. So the beautiful is what you savor. And he's always said it, and like we say it back to him, like lo bonito, lo sabroso, and we laugh, but it really truly is that it is the beauty that you savor because it is so beautiful.
That gave me chills. Yeah. Because fertilizer is what helps the roses bloom.
Yeah.
But it's the roses that you focus on, not the fertilizer.
Exactly.
That's a beautiful phrase.
So we covered your self-published author, your 2 books. We've covered the sandwich effect of being stuck between multiple generations, because it's not just 2, and it's not just 3, you, your mom, and your daughter. It's your grandchildren as well.
Right.
So it's multitude of generations that you're sandwiched between. This is a big old club sandwich.
Yeah, it is. Well, and then also if you, all the little other things, sometimes not so little, there's, if you are in a relationship, your spouse as well, your friends, that some of those things you need because that fills you back up.
Yeah.
And if you're not attending to those things where you can break away from the caregiving, the pouring out, you need to fill yourself back up. And I am not inclined to do that very often. I felt horribly guilty. My daughter, our middle daughter, tricked me once. She asked for something for herself, and so I'll help with others, but not for myself. But she got me to my very first mani-pedi by trickery, and I paid for it. Mom, I want to take you to something. And but it was really cool. It was the very first time.
Even I've had a mani-pedi.
Yeah.
Well, my
They're
wife was
great,
in school
aren't
and she
they?
forced me to.
Yeah.
My toenails are still painted and it's been months.
That's hilarious. Yeah. That's funny. I think that when Heather took me, I was pregnant with Olivia, our youngest now. So this is the age difference in our kids. Our oldest was getting married, and pictures of me, I am about to pop. Olivia was there, but not visually.
Not quite.
So it's fun. But and then there's also going forward, now that my mom is not with us. I'm still working through the grief on that and pushing it down. There's moments like even right now, I can feel it rising in my throat. In quiet moments alone, unfortunately, that's not when the emotion wells up. It's usually in the midst of things that I have to choke it back down again. But I spend a lot of time in her room with her pictures, her things. But now I've got to focus on moving forward. Our daughter's still in her junior year of high school, moving into her senior. I want to spend a lot more time with her. I want to figure out how to refocus on just a lot of things. I'm not sure how to move forward yet.
Well, you got time for yourself now.
Yeah.
Write another book.
Yeah. I have several in the works.
Okay.
And several simultaneously, I'll start writing text as well as sketching out ideas for illustrations, and start doing some illustrations just to see if I'm on the right path. And I have some ideas for novels for the older population, which makes me think of this funny story. My mom and dad went to a video store back when, what were those video stores?
Blockbuster?
Yeah, like Blockbuster, near their house. And they had grandkids with them all week, and they'd been watching Bambi and Cinderella and Heidi and some of those old videos. And so they finally were free of kids, and they wanted to just chill out to have a movie night. So they go in, and my mom's looking around, and of course my dad goes off to look at stuff about cars and, intense adventure. And my mom's looking around, and all she sees are kid videos. And the guy comes up to her and asks, "Ma'am, is there something we can help you find?" And she says, "Well, don't you have any adult videos anywhere?"
I knew this was coming.
The kid was about, 18 or 21 years old. And he looks at her. He was just stunned. My dad was nearby and heard it. He says, Dot, this is what adult videos are. And my mom just died on the spot.
She wanted a movie for grown-ups. Not dirty movies.
Yeah, exactly. So the novels I have in mind are for grown-ups, not adult novels. So not yet.
That's awesome. Linda, I want to thank you for being on today. We had some good laughs. We shared some heavy stuff. We got through it. I shared a little bit about my family and the women in my family and how they're sandwiched and how they provide care just like you did or still do for your family. I think it's culture, everybody's culture, their integrity when it comes to the seniors is beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, you should care just as much for seniors as you do for the children. And, sometimes seniors get forgotten because they are independent, but they need help.
And I think there's so much we can learn from the children in our households when they are around the seniors of a household. It's not, ooh, how come this old person is, or this person smells. I get so annoyed when I see things online about how old people smell bad and everything. A little kid doesn't even pay attention to that. A little kid.
I remember the smell of my grandmother, and now, like, yeah, if I go into a senior retirement home, I'm like, that's what my grandmother smelled like.
Yeah.
But as a little kid, that was just the smell of my grandmother.
Yeah.
I could tell she was ill, she was bedridden, and that was the smell she had.
Yeah, as a little kid, you don't think, ooh, they smell like pee. They smell, this is yucky. I don't want to be around. As a little kid, you just roll with it. And it's beautiful and it's natural. And if the adults would just learn from the little children, you just do it. You focus on the love and the love and how do you use
Lo bonito es lo sabroso.
Lo bonitos, lo
Sabroso.
sabroso.
Yeah.
I think that is so beautiful. Focus on the beauty.
The beauty. Because you will savor it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this, I think, is a pretty good natural place to stop. I hope you guys enjoyed talking with Linda Chrisman and myself about being sandwiched between caring for elder and young generations. And it's our duty as caretakers and people of a tribe, of a household. We should care for others, and if it takes a village to raise a child, it should also take a village to, see a senior out.
Right, absolutely. I think that's a beautiful way to look at it. I'm looking at the lion on your tattoo, and which of course makes me think of Africa and other. When I hear about caregiving for the whole tribe, I also think about elephants, their family structure.
Elephants are amazing.
And the harvesting of the tusks and the slaughtering of a magnificent animal just to get tusks, and that's just heart-wrenching. And what's happening is that infants and younger elephants are being left without their senior elephants. And in a herd of elephants, those seniors teach and guide the young mothers with their caregiving.
And protect them too.
Right.
They have a perimeter.
And so when elders get annihilated in a herd, then it leaves, in essence, teens raising babies, which we're seeing that in our adult, we're seeing that in our human culture. How difficult, how things are shifting, and maybe a solution to that is getting back to a multi-generational household. Yeah. It's happening by accident because people can't afford to live on their own any longer.
I didn't move out of my parents. Well, I moved out several times, but when I had my first jobs right out of high school, I worked so much that it wouldn't have been practical to have an apartment.
Yeah.
Like, I only needed a place to sleep because I was working all day.
Right.
So being in my mom's house was perfect, and I got to keep all my money and help them with expenses, and it just worked out.
Yeah, I think that's the way it should be. As long as everybody's contributing and working, that's a huge difference between the kid that's living in his mom's basement, playing video games all day, not making an income. Mom's waiting on him hand and foot. Bring me a beer, Mom. That's different than.
That may have been me too.
Well,
no, I'm kidding. I quit drinking 4 weeks ago. Yesterday.
Totally quit.
Yeah, I started a new medicine, and the doctor said I couldn't drink.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I've had a few NA beers, like non-alcoholics, but I'm pain free. I was in pain a lot
on
my back, and they gave me a medicine and they said no alcohol, and I've been pain free. So
Well, alcohol is one of those things that does rev up inflammation in your body, and yeah,
I feel great. Like I said, it's not a narcotic, so it's not like a super hardcore drug. It's Lyrica. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
I have.
It's just
yeah.
a nerve blocker, and I'm finally pain free, and it's amazing.
That's good.
Yeah.
That it is amazing.
I'm glad I quit drinking, but I'm glad I'm pain free more than anything.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
But it's important, and it comes back to being able to care for somebody else. You have to be able to care for yourself first.
Absolutely.
And take care of yourself. And that was one of the points that you made in the last video we were talking about.
Right.
Burnout and recovery.
Oh yeah.
Because it is such all day long. When you're caring for somebody, they don't go away, and when they're asleep, you're asleep, to where you don't get any time off.
Right. There's no time to just fill yourself back up. So it's a balance. It's it's a difficult balance, but it's important. And in my case, it got to a point where I couldn't work. I wasn't successfully managing work-life balance. So unfortunately, work had to go because I wasn't going to have my mom suffer. And that was very difficult and a little scary, wondering, are we going to be able to budget and manage to keep this up? And I was fortunate in that aspect, in having siblings that said, hey, we'll be here. We'll step up. You've had your turn. We will do what we can to shift things around. And it was uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable for all of us. It was uncomfortable for me to let Mother go and then ultimately let her go. But, life is about difficult choices and growth through pain. And
but at least you had her the time you did.
Yeah.
And it sounds like she had really good care with you, and she had your whole family with her.
Yeah.
My grandmother only ever made it up to my mom's one time, and we brought her up from Fresno, and I think she was planning on staying a full week, and I think she only made it a few days, and made us drive her back down.
Yeah.
She said it was too cold. She came in March.
Oh, yeah. My husband would joke with my mom and say that she had like a 3-degree temperature range. It had to be like 72 to,
Well, my grandmother, her whole life was in the Guadalajara. There's a huge agricultural valley near it.
Yeah.
And they're from that valley, so it's high desert.
Yeah.
So it's hot, but there's a lot of trees and shade.
Yeah.
And up here it's high desert, but no trees.
No trees, yeah. Miles and miles of maybe a tree, yeah.
Once you get the forest, you're in the forest, but there's like not a whole lot of...
When I was looking for houses here to move into, my friend took me for a drive up into the mountain, and there were some houses for sale in there. But we went from like this, where no trees, all of a sudden, oh my goodness, I was not expecting that sensation of claustrophobia. I was starting to panic.
The sound is different, everything is different.
Yeah, and I love to walk in the forest and spend time in the forest. I'm looking at what I think is a bald eagle flying out there. I just was not expecting that claustrophobic feeling. Well,
the canopy's thick.
Yeah, and having just heard about the recent fires and everything, I was looking at where would we escape? We'd have to back out of here. There's no way to even turn the car around. What if somebody's coming at us? And I was just panicked. So I thought, nope, not going to pick one of these here, these houses.
Sticking to the valley.
Yeah.
Well, everything grows here because there's sprinkler systems to where if you plant them, they'll grow. So let's wrap it up.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We spoke about the sandwich generation. Next subject, I'd like to come back and maybe talk about some of that self-care stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
And we'll just map it out for the next one and keep on going.
Awesome.
Thank you, and thank you guys for watching again. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye.